Coming up on the show, the fastest road-going Mini. What many are calling the best Toyota yet. Super hot super hatch from Hyundai. And another strong SUV from Kia.
Welcome everyone to World Car TV. As you saw, we have an action-packed episode for you.
Hi everyone, I am Siddharth Patankar and I hope you've had a great start to the year wherever you are. As Scotty said, lots of cars to get to, so let's get started. On with the Kia Sorento. Now this is a really popular and best-selling nameplate for Kia worldwide. The car is now in its 4th generation. After bringing us the Telluride last year, which really stormed into the market, even won World Car of the Year 2020, is the Sorento a great follow-up from Kia? Scotty drove it and found out.
The Kia Sorento has been completely redesigned for the 2021 model year. There are 4 different options, including a plug-in electric hybrid, a hybrid, conventional gas engine, and then there's also the X line, which is the top of the line and built for adventure. It comes with a standard 3rd row, has a lot of really great technology, and it takes a lot of its design cues from the very popular Kia Telluride. But with the 2021 Sorento, did Kia get it right? Let's take a look. The Kia Sorento's 4 different powertrain options also offer you a variety of power options. So the front-wheel drive 2.0 liter starts at 191 horsepower. The model that we're driving, the hybrid, has 227 horsepower. And the top of the line, the 2.5 liter turbo, has 281 horsepower. At 227 horsepower, that may not sound super powerful, but you can put it in sport mode and it's a little more responsive and gives you a little more oomph, and it also allows you to use these paddle shifters. The Kia brand has undergone some design changes overall, and you'll see that in the Kia Sorento with the new tiger nose grille. It stretches all the way across the face of the car, and it's accented by these headlights, which are distinct with 4 separate bulbs, and then also with these daytime running lights. Also on the front of the Kia Sorento is a lower grille with air intake. So one thing that buyers of the 2021 Kia Sorento will see is all the chrome that frames this car. It starts with this side panel here, which often you'll see on a car is an air intake. Here it's just a chrome accent. There's chrome here, there are chrome rails on the roof, and then there's this shark fin accent on the rear window. Kia made a lot of design choices with the Sorento that makes it very distinct. It starts with these tail lights that are the same tail lights you find on the Telluride. And then it continues with the chrome surround on the lower bumper, where there are also some faux exhaust pipes. The Sorento name is spelled out across the back of the lift gate, and then here you'll notice the model, the EX, but it also is an eco hybrid, which, by the way, is running. Do you hear it? Among the features that buyers will really love about the Kia Sorento is the smart trunk. You just stand next to it with your key in hand, and it opens. There's not a ton of space behind the 3rd row. You can see there's enough room for a few grocery bags or tote bags. Not a ton of room, but if you do need more room, all you do is push these seats down with a tug of that cord, and they go down really easily. The interior in the Kia Sorento has been completely redesigned, and it's got a lot of really great features. It starts with this beautiful leather-wrapped steering wheel where you have your drive selections here, so adaptive cruise, and then your follow distance adjuster here, and then your lane keep assist, which you press to engage here. Over here you have volume and phone controls. This infotainment and driver information system is all contained in this one piano gloss black piece. You have your driver screens here and your infotainment system here, but the whole piece is really beautiful. It almost has sort of a tulip shape to it here. It does have hot buttons here for radio controls, and then here we have wireless Apple CarPlay. So the minute you get into the car with your iPhone or your Google phone, it automatically connects as long as your Bluetooth is active. Over here, next to the drive mode selector, you also have the Park Sense downhill descent control, which is great if you want to control your speed when you're going down a hill. Here is the parking brake, the auto hold, which you push, and then anytime that you engage the brake, it will hold the car until you hit the accelerator. And you can customize your rear view camera. Seat configurations in the Kia Sorento are pretty cool. First of all, there's a button on the side of the seat that pushes it forward and folds the seat so you can get into the rear, and then you can just push it back into place like that. If you want it, if you want a little more leg row, lift the lever and you can push the seat back. For the 2021 model year, the Kia Sorento delivers a lot of features, a lot of design, and a lot of comfort for families looking for a mid-size SUV. Third row is standard, and for the first time, it has captain's chairs, and you have the choice of a plug-in electric hybrid, conventional gas, or the X-Line Adventure version of the Kia Sorento. The hybrid we were test driving, about 37 miles per gallon, pretty great for a family SUV. I really did enjoy spending time in the Kia Sorento, but I also really enjoyed spending time in this baby. This is the Mercedes-Benz GLA 250, which we heard about from our colleague Maciej Pertynski in episode 2. Here it has the AMG package and this really beautiful matte paint, which makes it even more favorable for its place as a contender for World Car Awards for 2021. Another contender for World Car Awards is the Hyundai i20, called the Super Mini in Europe and a premium hatchback in India. Here's Sid with the story.
The third generation Hyundai i20 has arrived amidst tremendous anticipation and expectation. The car comes at a time when Hyundai has been killing it on design, dynamics, and driving sales in every major market. The i20 is important in Europe, where it competes in the super mini segment with the likes of the Volkswagen Polo, Peugeot 208, Renault Clio, and Toyota Yaris. In India, its chief rivals have been the Honda Jazz and Suzuki Baleno. The new car has edgy looks and follows largely the same design language as seen on recent Hyundais, but some of it may appear misplaced or disproportionate in isolation. Now the new i20 is a little bit bigger than the last one, but in terms of proportions, it's very different. So when you look at it, you might actually think, hey, it looks smaller. And that's because, like I said, things are disproportionate a little bit. You've got this massive grille up front. It's all very modern and nice. I like the edgy styling. So different pattern on different engine types. I like the one here on the diesel. The 1.2 petrol gets the same. The turbo has a different one, like I said, but all black, thankfully, no chrome. Very edgy styling in terms of the metal as well as the light unit, but you don't get the European style, much sexier daytime running light. I don't know why that is. The European variants have sharper DRLs, as you can see, and also sexier alloy wheels, but market variations are always the norm on global models. The India spec also gets a lot more chrome. look at this. All these elements, they're very different, but it kind of makes the car look like it's squatting downwards. It makes it look a little bit shorter, even though it isn't actually. And especially this chrome element, which angles downwards, really brings your attention to it. If it had been finished in reflective red or just black, I like this glossy black element. But yeah, to me that kind of ruins everything. But nice modern taillight, the whole Z motif in it is going to get a lot of attention. And this is really sexy, the way that the fuel hatch has been integrated into that pattern. That's a nice touch. The new i20 comes with a host of engines, though topping the list is the 1-liter turbo GDI engine that gets either a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic or the new 6-speed e-clutch or IMT, which is a clutchless manual. Besides that, the car also has the option of a 1.2 petrol with a manual or CVT gearbox and a 1.5-liter diesel. The 1-liter turbo petrol makes 118 bhp or 88 kilowatt of maximum power, 171 Nm or 127 pound-feet of peak torque is ample and readily available in a wide band between 1500 and 4000 RPM. In Europe, the same engine is also offered with an optional 48-volt mild hybrid system that boosts torque to 200 Nm, and Europe also gets the N-line soon with this more powerful drivetrain. The diesel has 99 bhp and a generous 240 Nm of peak torque. It comes with a 6-speed manual gearbox. I am driving the diesel model today. It's a good move from Hyundai's side to transition to this 1.5 diesel engine. It's very refined. It's great on its power output. It's nice and sporty. In fact, it's a really satisfying performance you get from this engine. It's smooth. There is no turbo lag, which is really nice to see. And you get tons of low and mid-range torque, which means city driving, especially gear changing, etc. You won't find that to be a hassle at all. Hyundai claims the diesel is segment best on mileage, offering fuel economy of more than 25 kilometers per liter. The turbo petrol also drives well and is in fact very sporty and responsive. The turbo GDI range of engines have been doing well for Hyundai in a whole host of models, and even Kia is using the same. The smaller cars get the 1 or 1.4 liter iterations. The i20's wheelbase has increased by 10 mm and rear legroom is up by 88 mm over the previous generation. The i20 gets a new digital instrument cluster, a large 10.25-inch touchscreen with Hyundai's BlueLink connected car telematics solution, and a sunroof. The cabin has different trims in terms of color palette depending on market and variant. An optional 7-speaker Bose sound system, tire pressure monitoring, and a whole host of features make it a very attractive proposition. The i20 also gets a number of safety features like 6 airbags, emergency braking, etc., and those vary by market too. The car qualifies as a pocket rocket. It is well priced vis-a-vis its rivals and is a welcome addition to the Super Mini Brigade. From a hatch that looks hot to a real hot hatch, I'm talking about the GRYaris. It's a car that many say is the best Toyota they've ever driven. Now, this is the souped-up, almost rally-ready version of the regular Yaris that we've already showed you. Maciej Pertynski in Poland drove the car and brings you this review.
Yes, it's a Toyota. And yes, it's a Yaris. And no, it's not just a Yaris. It's a GR Yaris, whereas GR stands for Gazoo Racing. the motorsport division at Toyota. You know, Mr. Akio Toyoda, the present president of the Toyota Motor Corporation, the grandson of the founder of the company, when he took over, he promised that Toyota cars will never be boring again. And Mr. Akio Toyoda is a fanatic of cars, of driving, of rallying, of racing, just about anything about motoring. So he wanted to change it. And, well, one day he met with Tommy Mäkinen, then the head of Gazoo Racing, and they simply talked how they imagine a car of their dreams, a sports car, a Toyota that brings joy. And so this car came here. I couldn't be surprised more. Nothing has prepared me for this car. It looks really similar to the regular Yaris. An B-segment urban car. Its small engine has even 3 cylinders, as it's so common nowadays. But this little engine develops, bear with me, the monumental 261 horsepower. And I can't believe it myself. 316 Newton meters, which is 266 foot-pounds. And this engine, it doesn't know what a turbolag is. You kick the gas, the car kicks you back from any revs. And it revs till, watch my lips, 7,000 RPMs. 7,000 RPMs in a 3-cylinder motor. And it's combined with a gearbox, manual gearbox, which is so mechanical, so tight, that you cannot imagine a gearbox tighter and more precise. And it's also a car with a 4x4 drive, so you don't lose any of these Newton meters. The grip is phenomenal in just about any situation. It's sort of a Haldex solution with a special clutch between the front and the rear axle, supported by 2 torsion diffs, so that no wheel spin is possible. But it's hardly the end. Being basically a front-driven car, this GR-Yaris is capable of power drifts. That's because the driveshaft coming to the rear axle is faster than the front diff. It brings approximately 2% more revs to the rear wheels than to the front ones. And the difference is managed by a multi-plate clutch. But after all, it's a street-legal car. Noisy and with a very firm suspension. Well, it's a sports car. You don't get much comfort, but you don't have to fear of losing your tooth fillings if you're driving on a not so perfect road. Well, anyway, the seats, apart from being a little bit too high, I mean the seating position is a bit too high, but apart from that, they are simply marvelous. Now this is priceless. Very rarely can an automotive journalist get a surprise like that with a Toyota.
It's pretty awesome what Toyota's been able to do, right, Sid?
That's right, especially given all the regulations and stipulations that they now have to meet for new road-going cars.
That's a good point. But let's keep talking about hot hatches. The fastest Mini Cooper on the road is the new John Cooper Works GP. It's a limited edition though. There's only going to be 3,000 made. However, there's nothing limited in its performance, as our colleague Carlos from Mexico found out.
Hello and welcome to Sony Mexico. I am Carlos and this is the Mini John Cooper Works GP, candidate for World Performance Car of the Year 2021. We are literally standing in front of one of the most exclusive cars in the world. Only 3,000 of these were manufactured, and roughly 1/4 of those stayed in the UK. By the way, Mexico only received 44 of those, and this is chassis 0009. The number is engraved just right here. These side blades are manufactured in carbon fiber, the same material BMW uses to manufacture one of their most futuristic electric vehicles, the BMW i3. And you might think this could have some aerodynamic function, but they actually are here only to widen the body in order to allow bigger and wider tires. If you had the chance to configure one of these where the car was on sale, you could either choose regular sport tires like this or semi-slick, only focused on track racing. In order to be different from the other Minis out there, it has a special color scheme that includes some red details and a GP badge in front. Also, the front fascia is sportier with a bigger lower lip to improve aerodynamics and air cooling. Then you will have a black badge for Mini, and the rest is very similar to any other John Cooper Works, including this, fake bonnet scoop. The rear has a very similar story, with huge central mounted double exhaust, a fake diffuser, some red GP badge, the black Mini emblem, the side beautiful carbon fiber blades, and this huge upper wing that apparently does not generate a lot of downforce, but at least it looks terrific. From the inside, the booth has gained a lot of space, especially because they've removed the rear bench. Instead, they installed a huge red, what it seems to be a stiffening bar, but it's not. Instead, it only prevents luggage going from the rear to the front on hard brakings. Nevertheless, the interior has a different story. Inside, everything is very similar to what we have already seen in any other Mini, including the equipment, the dashboard, and if we are looking at the special John Cooper Works editions, the seats are about the same. The only difference, but it's going to be different for you to tell, is that the overall height of the car is a little bit lower than the average. That is because the suspension has been lowered. The rest is about the same. You have a sports steering wheel, a very well-equipped dashboard, but you could also have chosen to equip or unequip the car without the infotainment system or the air conditioning. What is really different is that you will find this piece on the right side of the dashboard. It is a 3D printed piece with the number of the chassis on it. Also, the paddle shifters and the indication for the steering are 3D printed, but in metal. One of the missing things inside the John Cooper Works GP is a driving mode selector, like the other rest of the Minis. Instead, it only has one driving mode, Sport, and it's on all the time. No extra unneeded luxury items, no fancy carbon fiber inside. The rest is up to the driving, and that is the most amazing thing on this vehicle. Under the bonnet, you will find a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo engine generating up to 306 horsepower, attached to a regular torque converter automatic transmission. While you might be thinking a car like this should have rear-wheel drive or at least a 4-wheel drive system, the John Cooper Works GP has only front-wheel drive, and that translates to a tendency to understeer on high-speed cornering. About suspension, it has a low and stiff one, And while that may be very good for racetrack driving, for a daily driving or a commute car, this is a very hard car, especially in countries like Mexico. So yes, suspension is kind of stiff, but if you find the right spot and maybe a racetrack, this car is very enjoyable. Also, hardcore drivers will be missing the manual transmission, as it is not an option anymore on the GP. Instead, we have this 8-speed automatic, and it is a very good one, but it is not as fast as we would love to have in a car like this. The exhaust sounds awesome, but it's not as noisy as you should expect in a car like this. It is exclusive, it is different, it drives very fast, and that is why this Mini John Cooper Works GP is a candidate for World Performance Car of the Year 2021.
So that's all on World Car TV for now. But next time, we'll have the shortlist for the 2021 World Car Awards.
Yes, and we'll have the top 5 in luxury, urban, design, and performance, as well as the 10 finalists for World Car 2021.
You don't want to miss it. And remember that you can catch all the videos of a lot of the nominated cars right here on our YouTube channel.
And follow along on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for all of our reviews and all of the things that our journalists are covering as we complete the road to World Car 2021.
So it's goodbye from the two of us, but please stay safe and always remember to wear your seatbelts.